Hi lovely people, welcome and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to hop on here briefly discuss this recent lawsuit filed against the singer Jason Derulo. Derulo, known for his hit singles such as Whatcha Say, Talk Dirty, Wiggle, and In My Head, is now, along with his label Atlantic Records and his imprint Future History, are now facing a startling lawsuit from his former artist of allegations of sexual harassment, retaliation, breach of contract, and a failure to remedy workplace harassment in violation of California's Civil Rights Act. The lawsuit was filed by singer Emaza Gibson, who signed to Jason's label in November of 2021. When speaking to NBC about the suit, Emaza said she initially began to work with Jason to create music to submit to Atlantic Records to hopefully finalize a record deal. Emaza went on to say, quote, "I'm at this point in my life right now. It's very heartbreaking. I have anxiety, I'm traumatized, I've dealt with inhumane work situations. I'm at this point where I'm back to zero and I have nothing," unquote. Before we jump into the intricacies of the lawsuit, for those who may be unfamiliar with Emaza, she originally rose to prominence for being one-third of the sister girl group Ceraadi, which initially consisted of Emaza, her older sister Emaza Gibson, and their younger sister Emaza Gibson, who were managed by their mother Sandra Bales. Officially formed in 2013, the sisters left their hometown in Iowa to pursue their dreams in Los Angeles in 2008. The trio started their widely followed YouTube channel where they began posting covers and uploading their own music, which resulted in their massive online following of over 1 million subscribers. The group even made an appearance on Christina Milian's E! Network reality show Christina Milian Turned Up on Season 2, Episode 3, when Christina offered to mentor the group and even invited them to perform a song with the producing group Silent Killers and to serve as backup dancers for Christina's performance at the Rose Bowl that year. In the episode, it seemed Christina was frustrated with the group's non-existent work ethic and said that they did not want to be helped. In the clips from the show, it depicts the group's momager accusing the producers of sucking the fun out of the studio session and questioning their resume. Sandra's over-the-top screaming and interrogation led to a huge fight, thus leading to Christina to part ways with the trio. In 2018, things started to unravel for the group when the youngest sister, Emaza, allegedly went missing and the family, mainly their mother Sandra, felt that she was kidnapped by her boyfriend Lil James. Emaza later claimed that her family was aware of her disappearance and that she left due to the toxicities of her family, and she also accused her mother of stealing $5,000 from her account. The entire event requires a separate video of its own, but I recommend watching Naveen Ghazal's What Happened to Ceraadi's video for the entire breakdown. Needless to say, this led to Emaza getting kicked out of the group. As a duo, Emaza and Emaza continue focusing on their careers as they signed to Jay-Z's Roc Nation label in 2019. Under Roc Nation, they released their EP Ceraadi's Playlist in May 2019. But that partnership eventually ended, in which Emaza vented in an Instagram Live with Emaza in 2020 that Roc Nation has been sabotaging them. Emaza said that the rollout for their second single was ruined as editors changed clips of the music video and that the premiere was botched. They also said that they edit all of their videos and handle choreography, hair, and makeup themselves, and that their team is holding them back. After Emaza's departure from the group and the duo's EP not resonating with the fans, the hype started to slow down with Ceraadi. In 2020, during the height of the Black Lives Matter protests, fans noticed that their momager Sandra was posting pro-Trump social media posts, which resulted in the entire family facing backlash for not denouncing their mother's post. The backlash from fans was intensified when the younger sister Emaza posted on the platform X saying that, "Not my whole family supporting Trump. What happened?" Fast forward in 2021, the Ceraadi Instagram page cleared all photos and videos of Emaza and began posting Emaza-only content, along with posts from their mother Sandra insinuating family betrayal, leading fans to speculate that Emaza was no longer a member of Ceraadi. Emaza and Sandra started their podcast in 2022 and dedicated their first episode to addressing the questions of what happened to Ceraadi. After watching that episode, I realized that their mother Sandra seems to be behind all of the discord and dysfunction behind their family drama and business. All she did in the video was basically accuse Emaza of following the same steps as Emaza and not really wanting to work hard as an artist, which led to the downfall of Ceraadi. They blamed Emaza, her girlfriend at the time, but not the fact that Sandra seemingly showed favoritism towards Emaza, which naturally would fracture a family dynamic. Emaza responded to someone in June of 2023 asking if Ceraadi would ever reunite by explaining that, quote, "You guys never got the chance to see me and how I operate because I was in the background doing all of the work, uplifting Emaza and Emaza 24/7. Emaza and Emaza never wanted to do Ceraadi, they didn't want to do music, and they didn't care about our supporters. I got attacked for telling the truth about their character. This was my dream, not theirs. Otherwise, they would be trying to pursue it. They're destructive people. Instead of being honest and going on their own paths, they tried to ruin mine on their way out. People need to let it go. I'm still healing, and if people want to support me, then they need to leave that in the past. I chose God, Sayer chose a cult, and Zunaye chose an abuser. They sacrificed their own family for sympathy online. You guys need to pray they find God. I'm doing the Lord's work by spreading awareness and following my dreams, unquote. The group seemed to have earned a lot of life-changing opportunities over the past 10 years, but it has been squandered due to their temper, bad egos, and habit to get in their own way. Not to mention social media posts from their mother hinting that relationships within the LGBTQIA+ community is wrong, even though Sayer is bi. Spreading a post that former First Lady Michelle Obama is a man, as well as calling Ice Spice Orphan Annie an industry plant and questioning if she has Down syndrome. As well as Emaza publicly embracing MAGA, accusing Saweetie of stealing her idea for her hit song Best Friend by saying, Saweetie admitted to copying me with the Best Friend record and she has yet to add me to the credits in my Grammy nomination. People been admitting to my face about me being on their mood boards. This ain't new. Emaza also released a diss track aimed at Saweetie, Doja Cat, Megan Thee Stallion, and other female rappers. Fast forward to present day, Emaza, now a solo artist, filed the lawsuit on October 5th, 2023, alleging that after Gibson signed to Derulo, he began pressuring her to drink with him in the studio or out at dinner. Invitations Gibson said she declined in the name of keeping their relationship professional. A comment Derulo allegedly made about a goat skin and fish scales ritual Gibson would be expected to participate in is cited in the lawsuit as an explicit demand for SEX in exchange for success. According to the filing, goat skin and fish scales is a Haitian reference to SEX rituals and doing drugs. According to Emaza Gibson, while she had a late-night studio session with Jason in September 2021, she obliged his request to have a drink with him and was subsequently given inappropriately large amounts of alcohol. Even after she reminded him that she was not a drinker, she said she felt like she was being pressured. Allegedly, after being asked to take another sip, Gibson declined to drink and to sleep with Derulo, which resulted in Derulo canceling to provide transportation for Gibson to get home that evening. In November 2021, Gibson, along with Derulo, traveled to New York to meet with Atlantic Records presidents Craig Kallman and Julie Greenwald to present the music she had created in order to ideally finalize her deal. Moments before the meeting, the suit noted that Derulo told Gibson that a random woman named Rosa would be joining their meeting. While alone, Rosa told Gibson that Derulo invited her because he would be on some F-ish, implying sleeping with Derulo. During the meeting, Derulo presented Rosa's music instead, which indicated to Gibson that the woman's career is progressing due to her probably sleeping with Derulo. Afterwards, Emaza was asked by Jason's manager, Frank Harris, how the meeting went, and Gibson admitted that she was surprised by Rosa's sudden attendance, which led to an outburst from Jason in which he said, "What does she have to do with you? We weren't going to tell you anything. We don't have to tell you anything." After that incident, Emaza requested that her mother Sandra attend all meetings and studio sessions out of concern for her safety. Additionally, Emaza alleged that Derulo was non-communicative with her after the NYC trip. He did not respond to her calls and messages and failed to provide her a project manager, which is the norm for all artists in the industry. A couple of months later in June 2022, another incident occurred when Emaza met with Jason in his Malibu home when she inquired about her artist's budget. According to the suit, Jason replied by asking, "Why are you worried about the budget? You are worried about the wrong things," in which Emaza suggested that the two have a recording session. Emaza also asked Jason if he could purchase her records because she feared that it would be taken by other artists, in which she said that Jason replied that if we lose them, I could always get new records. A few days later, Emaza and her mother Sandra, along with the videographer, arrived to an LA studio an hour late due to the notorious LA traffic, and also due to the Summit of the Americas event in which many heads of state were attending. When they finally arrived, allegedly Jason, in front of his team and Emaza's team, lunged at Emaza and yelled, "I don't know who you think you are. You're supposed to be here before me. You need to plan better," in which Emaza feared that he was going to physically assault her. Noticeably upset, Gibson ran to the bathroom to cry, in which she was later confronted by one of Derulo's engineers who said, "It's just tough love." A day later, Emaza's mother Sandra contacted Jason's manager Frank Harris to inform him of the incident that took place. Harris responded by saying he is aware of the incident and that Derulo is his own man and I am not his master. Sandra asked Harris how he would feel if it was his daughter that was treated the way Emaza was treated, and Harris proceeded to defend Derulo by saying he has a right to yell at Emaza. The conversation devastated Emaza as she believed everything was unfolding due to her refusal to drink and sleep with Jason. A month later, Emaza contacted Jason to schedule another recording session to no avail. And a few days later, she reached out to Atlantic Records A&R executive Antoine Ben-Horan about the incident she experienced with Jason in New York, at his home and in the studio. Allegedly, Ben-Horan replied by saying, "The Atlantic team wants you to win, but I can't say the same for Jason," unquote. For the next few months, Emaza began to self-fund her studio sessions, and in early September, she received the devastating news that her contract with Atlantic and Future History had been terminated, effective immediately. In October of 2022, Emaza took to social media to inform her fans of her displeasure with the label, and what led to the split by saying, "I asked to speak to the presidents of Atlantic. the ones who signed me, and Anton Ben-Harin, and Frank Harris, Jason Derulo's manager, told me that wasn't going to happen. I was supposed to receive a call from one of their presidents, Julie Greenwald, weeks ago. I'm still waiting on that. I've dealt with inhumane treatment for almost a year. Jason Derulo signed me to shelve me just to get his label deal with Atlantic. I was used. Anton promised me a song featuring Chris Brown for my first single. Instead of doing that, he wants to take my videos down off of my YouTube and website. My contract had release date benchmarks and they did not meet the deadlines. Jason Derulo said in a session that I might have to do goat skin and fish scales. I looked up goat skin and fish scales, which means effing the devil and doing drugs. People were present when he said that. I had no idea what that meant. So maybe that's the reason why I'm not out. LMAO. Emaza also went on to say that my contract was straight. These people didn't do what they agreed to do on their end. I had deadlines that were met not by them. I want my phone call. I'm not the type that's just going to turn the other cheek and get disrespected. These people wasted a year of my time and I could have signed somewhere else. I could have been making money elsewhere. I didn't do ish but work my butt off. Jason didn't pay me to choreograph for his music video. I did that out of respect and love. The world is just so used to getting effed over and that's it. I don't operate like that and y'all shouldn't either. That's not how the world is supposed to be. Emaza shared text conversations with Frank Harris discussing the possibility of getting a feature from Chris Brown and how she felt like she was being played by the label. Her momager Sandra also chimed in by saying on Instagram that Jason Derulo, his manager Frank Harris, and her A&R Anton of Atlantic Records won't allow her to put out music. Even though we have benchmarks, scammers, they used her to get a label imprint for Jason's future history, pocketed the money, stole her budget, lies, and thieves. According to the suit, as a result of the interactions with the accused parties, Emaza has required medical attention for weight loss, mood swings, breakdowns, loss of motivation, and feelings of betrayal and PTSD, and is now seeking a jury trial for the case, as well as unpaid wages, loss of earnings, and deferred compensation. In her interview with NBC, Emaza said, quote, "I'm just trying to fight for what's right, because what was done to me was not okay, and I wouldn't want anyone else to go through what I went through. They wasted my time. They promised me things. Forget the contract. That's what I was told. But if I wasn't doing my part according to this contract, I would be in trouble. I would be held accountable," unquote. Jason Derulo responded to the allegations in an Instagram video by saying, quote, "I wouldn't normally comment, but these claims are completely false and hurtful. I stand against all forms of harassment and I remain supportive of anybody following their dreams. I've always strived to live my life in a positively impactful way, and that's why I sit here before you deeply offended by these defamatory claims. God bless," unquote. All in all, I definitely agree that the music industry isn't due for a Me Too movement because for far too long, there have been many grimy people taking advantage of up-and-coming and even established artists in the industry, and their behavior has gone unaccounted for. Regardless of Emaza and her family's problematic history and beliefs, I hope that if these allegations are true, she receives justice and is able to get her career back on track. We never know who any of these public figures really are behind the scenes, so for now, we would just have to wait and see how everything plays out. Let me know in the comments what you all think of this entire lawsuit and what thoughts you have on the situation. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.